Alright guys, it's Wednesday. Today's home workout is an EMOM 10. So every minute on the minute for 10 minutes, we're doing 2 to 4 chin-ups, 3 to 6 toes to bar, and then 6 to 12 alternating jumping lunges. So for the first two movements, you might not have a pull-up bar at home. That's okay. Chin-ups, let's go for a bent over row option. If possible, let's try to find something a little bit heavier so we can kind of mimic that body weight. Toes to bar, we can go for those V-sits for today. So use those V-sits as an option. And again, if you guys have a pull-up bar, feel free to follow the progressions as is, so chin-ups and toes to bar. Then 6 to 12 alternating jumping lunges, no equipment needed here guys, just all body weight. This workout is a challenge workout guys, where I'm trying to challenge you to do 10 rounds within the 10 minutes here. So every minute on the minute, I want you to try and finish all these movements within that 60 seconds. Now, there's a rep range here, so I want you to choose a progression or a rep range here that you can sustain 10 rounds. I don't want you guys to pick something where it's taking you a minute, 30 seconds, or 2 minutes at most to finish a round. I would rather you finish around that 50, 55 second mark and have about a 5 to 10 second transition to the next round there. Again, really try to focus on the progressions you use today, guys. The chin-ups and the toes to bar, again, they may be a little bit challenging at first, or like looking at them that might be challenging, but they're not that many reps. And again, if you need to break them up, so go quick 2, come off, and then do another 2. Or if you're at the 2 rep range, guys, do singles. Chin-ups, again, if you don't have it, you're gonna be doing bent over rows, and likely those are gonna be done unbroken. The thing is, guys, the challenge, again, those alternating jumping lunges are gonna really fire up your heart rate, and you're gonna be doing them back to back, and then your rest is gonna get a little bit tighter each round. So try to stay with it for as long as you can. If you do find yourself falling off those minutes, maybe give yourself 1 or 2 breaks. So let's say you go a little bit past that 5-minute mark when you're on your 6th round there, that's okay. And then if it happens again, I would decrease the reps. So if you're working at 4 to 6 and 12, I would decrease it down to 3s or 2s. And even if you're at 2, 3, and 6, I would go down in reps there as well. So maybe go 1, and then go 2 here, guys, and then go for 4 for the alternating jumping lunges. Find something that's consistent for you that you can maintain those 10 rounds within the 10 minutes there. After the workout, guys, we're going to recover with some stretching. We're going to go for a 60-second pec stretch, and then those 60-second lat stretch. So pec, guys, those toes to bar, you're slowly going to feel it that you're going to be opening up if you're going from the pull-up bar, or even from the V-sit, from opening up and then closing at the top. Again, those muscles are working. Also from the chin-ups, you're going to feel that even with bent over rows. So we're going to really try to mobilize that shoulder girdle, open it up, and get ourselves ready for the next day. Hope you guys enjoy today's workout and afterburner. We'll see you guys next for the warm-up video.
Okay, let's get ready to warm up here. We're going to start off today's warm-up with the 90-90 hip rotation. So opening up the hips. Really, the 90-90 is to focus on your internal rotation and your external rotation in your hips. A lot of times, whether you're squatting, you're running, box jumping, anytime you're moving the legs, we're not necessarily moving effectively in our hips because the rotation in our femur, so your thigh bone, isn't necessarily recruiting all the correct muscles. What I'm trying to get at is your hip flexor, your psoas, to be specific, tends to get neglected. So this 90-90 really helps, guys, to open it up, loosen it up, and slowly start firing those smaller muscles. You start in your seated position, heels on the ground, guys. Knees are about 90 degrees. From here, notice how my hands are hip in line with my hips or slightly behind. You can play around with this. You're gonna drop your knees, okay? You drop your knees, and you feel maybe it's a stretch, whether it's on either leg, hang out there, hold it, okay? If you can't touch your knee to the floor, just gently try to push down as your body relaxes. Now it might be tricky to see, but my knees are actually about 90 degrees. both of them. That's where the name comes, the 90-90. From here, I'm going to rotate my knees to the other side without lifting my heels off the ground. So notice how I'm just rotating, but my heels did not change position, okay? So now I'm feeling a little tight here, so I can feel the stretch myself. So I have to reposition my hand. The key here is do not reposition your heels. It's really easy to like, yeah, I'm doing it, but you're actually not rotating through your hips when you're moving your feet. Okay, so you're gonna rotate in your hips, so this thigh for me is externally rotating as this one is internally rotating. So I'm feeling that rotation in my hips. Then I reverse the order. External rotation, internal rotation on the opposite side. The key here, guys, use this as a stretch. Feel the rotation in your hips. As you get more comfortable, come off the ground with your hands. See, can you not move your heels, but use that core to stabilize yourself. After you've done that, now let's get that heart rate going. Let's get those muscles fired up, guys. We're gonna go for 3 rounds, 30, 20, and 10. Alternating step up. So starting with 30, alternating step ups. You're gonna go up, step down, go up, step down. Trying to fire up the hamstrings and glutes on that one, okay? Stabilize your knee, so don't let your knee drop depending on how your object is. Watch for that, okay? Once you've completed the 30, then you're gonna go into your push-up position. So your high plank. From here, shoulders over your wrist. You're gonna bring your knee to the opposite side. Bring your knee to the opposite side. You're going for 30 mountain climbers, crossing your body, getting your core fired up, okay? From there, my last movement, going for some bent over flies. So I'm using these 10-pound plates here today. I'm gonna hinge at the hips, so lean forward by sticking my bum back. From there, my back is flat, and then I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades, bring it down. Squeeze my shoulder blades, bring it down. Do it until 30. As you squeeze your shoulder blades, don't roll forward. It's okay to bend the elbows slightly so you can maximize the usage of your upper back. If you have the flexibility in your bicep and your triceps and your back muscles, feel free to go straight, guys, but play around with it to make sure you get the most out of your back without lowering the plate down too much. So you're not doing this, okay? Trying to keep them in line to your shoulders. Once you've completed 30, you're gonna roll back onto your step up for 20, repeating your movements, working your way down on the last round, doing that final round of 10. Have a great warm-up. See you next in the workout. Start off with a bent over row. So in that bent over row, feet are hip width apart, knees are perpendicular. Don't round your back, so flat back. If you're feeling tight, maybe you're up a little bit more, that's fine. If possible, drop down. From here, guys, you're gonna row that bar, in my case, as close as you can to the body. So if I had a single object, I'm still thinking about nice and tight with my elbows, not to the body, but the back, to allow me to mimic that tight bar path that I can get with a PC pipe or bar.
The final move is the V-sit. Remember, guys, you can challenge yourselves with a weight between the heel, or you can do a toe to bar if you have a pull-up bar at home. So for the V-sit, first progression, you can just do a sit-up. So you can get an ab mat under your back, or a towel, roll up a shirt, whatever. We're just gonna come all the way up, touch the shoes, come back down. You can use your arms. Those are a bit too easy for you. For 3, it's probably gonna be a bit too easy. You can switch to a jackknife. So in a jackknife, we start off in that hollow body position. The knees come in towards the chest. The V-sit is very similar, except now we're keeping our legs locked out, and we're trying to bring our arms overhead and then bring the hands in towards the toes. If you don't touch the toes, that's okay. You're just gonna try to get as close as you can, and you're gonna try to keep everything nice and straight.
For alternating jumping lunges here, guys, you want to choose that progression that will make sure knee stays in that right track. It's not wobbling at all. So if you find jumping and alternating your feet in the air is a little bit too challenging, you know, you're not that stable, just go for regular lunges. So regular lunges again, you want to step forward, keep that shin nice and vertical to the floor, chest nice and tall, and then driving off that front foot to stand it up every single time we do that rep. Again, as you come down, make sure the full foot is making contact with the floor and push off that heel as you stand it up. If you are comfortable and you can really keep that knee in a nice track, so what I mean by that is if you're here and that knee is wobbling a lot, use that static lunge instead that I just showed you, or you can do the jumping lunges, which would be coming out of that bottom of the lunge. We're going to jump up, switch our legs in the air as we do that. Notice I'm really keeping tension to keep that knee in the right spot every single time. I'm squeezing the inside of my legs, my hamstrings, my glutes to maintain good positioning. So again, those 10 or those alternating lunges, alternating jumping lunges will look like this. Make sure you're finding that progression that works best for you and for the intent of the workout. That will be the alternating jumping lunge.
All right, guys, welcome to the Afterburn. Hope you had a good workout. We're gonna start with that pec stretch. So we are doing 90 seconds per side. First one we're gonna do is I'm just gonna get you planting your hand onto that wall. So I'm actually pushing my palm into the wall and then locking my elbow out. And then I'm just gonna turn my feet in the opposite direction. So I'm just trying to walk my feet away more and more. Upper body comes with it. Now you can play with your position here on the wall a little bit higher. You might feel a little bit more in the pec. Remember, you might be tempted to bend your elbow. Try to avoid that. 90 seconds per side on that. Then we're gonna get into a lat stretch. So for the lat stretch here, guys, if you have a tennis ball, lacrosse ball, any type of ball will work here. I want you guys to think about working that lat right where the kind of on the outside of that armpit, back right underneath the shoulder, and you're just gonna put that lacrosse ball into that area of the lat, and you're gonna lean up against that wall. You can go try to play around with this position where you're leaning more into it. You can twist a little bit more onto the back of that lat, or you can go a little bit down the lat, and also add movement. So I find whenever I find a spot that's a little bit knotted, I add a rotation in that arm and shoulder, maybe do a press back and forth, and you're just gonna fish around for areas that feel a little bit uncomfortable. We're gonna get uncomfortable here. You can also try this one on the ground. I prefer the ground actually more than the wall. So try both, see what one feels a little bit better. And remember, when you find that spot that kind of seems to take your breath away a little bit, remember to breathe through it. Thanks guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.